What is up, guys? It is your boy, R7 Gaming here, back with another YouTube video. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you on how you can do movement in Unity 2D. So let's just get straight into it. So I don't recommend watching this video if you're a really big beginner. If you're just first time getting into Unity, I recommend watching my Tycoon game videos or my clicker video to get more familiar with Unity. So let's just get straight into it. So I'm going to kind of go through this video at a faster pace. So we're going to click plus 2D object sprite shape. Now I recommend adding good sprites to your game because this kind of looks bad, just shapes. Or if you're going for a just shape style, then go for it. But right now I'm just going to add these little shapes. And like that. Check our game view. And so we need to add a few things to this. We need to add box collider 2D. Make sure it is not box collider. We want to add box collider 2D. And so now, once we have our collider, we're pretty much done with the ground. All we need to do is just click add tag and then click plus. And we need to name a tag named ground. This is important later on. So we give it this ground tag. Or yeah, we give it this ground tag now. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to also name this ground. That's just for organization though. We're going to click plus 2D object sprite shape. And this is going to be our character here. Let's just make them red to just kind of separate them. Doesn't matter if this character is in air because we're going to add rigid body pretty soon. And so that's just going to add physics to it. So now we're going to add rigid body 2-dimensional. And so we're going to run the game. You guys might think that's already done, but no. We're not even close to done. See how we're falling through the ground? Well, this is why we also added box collider to our little cube here. So we click add component, box collider 2-dimensional. And now we're not just going to fly through the ground, but we cannot move. And this is where the scripting comes into play. So we're going to right click, create folder, and we're going to name this C# scripts. And make sure you put a hashtag for sharp. And once we are in this folder, we're going to right click, create C# script. And we're going to name this movement or movement. And make sure that you do not put any spaces. This is probably what most Unity beginners do. And I just think please don't put spaces because it doesn't make the script work. So please don't do spaces. And all we need to do is we're just gonna click open. And this is causing a little bit of issues, but this is just for demonstration, these little sprites. And so it was kind of zoomed out a little bit. But we need to add a few variables, and this is going to be interesting. So we're going to press space to make some open room. Public, float, move, speed. So pretty much we're not going to declare this yet, like the value, because we're just going to edit this in the UI, which I love using variables for this because you could change it maybe while the game is actually in real time, which is really sick. And also, it just makes our life so much easier. So we're going to do public float jump force, and sometimes I don't see actual Unity people actually add this variable, but this is pretty much just going to determine how much force our jump gets us, and this is very important later on. So now we're not going to even add any public stuff. We're just going to add float, move, player. And so this is going to come important later on. You will see. And now what we need to do is add bool is jumping now. And we're just going to just put a semicolon. We're just going to not do anything right now. So we're going straight into the update function because obviously this isn't going to work. It starts when the script starts. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our little float here. Move player equals input dot get axis raw. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get horizontal, end it with a semicolon, and we're going to do transform dot position equals transform dot position plus new vector 3. So we're going to put vector 3, and we're going to add some parentheses. And so the first one is the x-axis, and the second one is the y, and the last one is the z, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. So we're going to get our move player variable here. We don't want to add any force to the y-axis, so we're just going to add move player and 0 to the y. So now what we need to do is we need to actually multiply it by the time dot delta time. So we need to do time multiplied by time dot delta time multiplied by move speed. Once we're done with that, we need to add an if statement so for our jumping, because we're already done with the actual moving left and right. So we need to do if input dot get button down jump. So we're just gonna go catch jump over here. And now we're gonna put and is not jumping now. So if we are not jumping, it's gonna have this work. Pretty much that's the easiest way to say it. And I made a little mistake here, and don't make this mistake. All you gotta do is just add another parenthesis, and we're good. So now we're going to add a little rigid body variable. So we're going to do public rigid body 2D. Don't do normal rigid body 2D. We're going to name this rigid body. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to get rigid body dot add force. So we're going to add force. And also make sure it's the same name as your variable. Make sure that you don't get these other rigid bodies. So we're going to do rigid body to add force. And now we're going to get a new vector 3. Or in this case we might just get a vector 2. We'll see. And we want to add 0 to the x-axis, but we want to add our little jump force variable here. So jump force. We need to add, I think, force mode. Force mode 2D dot impulse. And we just need to add a little thingy, and we need to do like this. And so now that we have added this, we're just going to put is jumping now, and we're going to tell Unity that this is now we are jumping, Unity. So we are jumping now. So now we're adding our function here. So we're going to do void on collision enter 2D, and we're going to do a little if statement. So we're going to do collide, and we're going to do if collide dot game object dot compare tag, and now we're going to get the tag of our ground. So we're going to do ground, and we're going to do is jumping now equal false. So now this is a perfectly working moving script. So we go in, and now what we do is we add it to our little character, drag it in where it says add component. And now we need to tell Unity to get our rigid body 2Ds. So we're going to get it right here. And make sure to name this player. And so now we're going to add a jump force of 6 and a move speed of 2. But first we need to add a little ground tag to the actual ground. But the ground is actually tagged now. So we don't have that stupid double jump because we added that tag. And now we can just move perfectly fine, which is pretty amazing, guys. I think that's just going to end it for today's video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Keep watching the Unity tutorials, and goodbye.